What's up, everyone? Back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing yet another beer from the Victory Brewing Company, and they are out of Downingtown, Pennsylvania, and this is their Whirlwind. So they're calling this one a citrus wit, and on the side of the label it says ale with natural flavors. It comes in at 5.2% alcohol by volume. No IBUs listed. Time of review, I don't know exactly how old this bottle is, but it does have a best by date of June 21st, 2022, and right now we're about a week and a half away from that date, so we're coming in just under the gun. We should be fine. Anyway, I have seen this one numerous times before over the years, and I just never grabbed it. I can't believe I've never actually drank this, let alone review it. And it's basically a Belgian Witbier, and hopefully it's quite delicious. On the side here it says a swirl of citrus, a steady calm meets a whirlwind of flavor with notes of grapefruit in this crisp citrus wit. For malts, they're using Pilsner and wheat, hops, Tettnang, and then additions, this is where the natural flavors come in, a grapefruit flavor, orange peel, and coriander. So orange peel and coriander, typically, the additions in a Belgian Witbier, but they're also using grapefruit flavor, which I find interesting, which is pretty much why they call it, I guess, citrus wit instead of just a wit beer. Anyway, let's give it a pour into the hashtag, not really proper glassware, but kind of, because it's Victory, but it's Gold Monkey, so not really. So yeah, I'm hoping for a really crisp, refreshing Belgian Witbier. Maybe a little bit more of a grapefruit forward Belgian Wit to some degree, but we'll see. Anyway, that has a beautiful, bright kind of orange color. On camera, it's going to look more dull. In person, especially hold up to light, it has like a nice sunshine-esque kind of color to it. Very murky, turbid, like a Belgian wit typically is. Didn't generate a huge head. We'll try to swirl one up here. But yeah, about a finger of an off-white, creamy-looking head plays the role of a Belgian wit beer. It's a good nose. Yeah, so those Belgian yeast qualities come to the forefront. Definitely with the additions of the coriander and the orange peel. I think it's amping up the yeasty phenols. Also getting like a bubblegum ester as well. But yeah, it has a weedy kind of grainy sensation from the malt, a little bit of bubblegum, coriander, spiciness, and then there's like a sweet orange peel, grapefruit, and I think the grapefruit's more coming from the grapefruit flavor than anything else in here. It does smell like sunshine in glass. It smells very, very, I want to say reserved, but the notes are there, but they're more subtle than like punching you in the nose. But it smells super refreshing. It just smells like a really well-made Belgian Witbier with maybe a little bit more of like a grapefruit influence. That's pretty much all I'm getting. It smells pretty good. Let's get into it. Cheers, everyone. Okay, so in the taste, here's the difference between like a classic Belgian Witbier and this beer. This definitely has a pronounced grapefruit kind of feel to it. It's like a sweeter ruby red grapefruit mixed in with like a pithy kind of white grapefruit. Definitely grapefruit flavor indeed. Body in this one's like medium, maybe a touch under. For a 5.2% Witbier, like it's a nice body. Very hefty for the lower ABV. A lot of times these can be watery, especially if they're not well made. The mouthfeel, it's crisp. It lets you know this is a Belgian Wit, but it has that wheat kind of smoothness and slight creaminess on the back of the palate. Really nice mouthfeel. And taste, at the forefront, first thing that hits the tip of the tongue is that grapefruit. Again, sweeter ruby red grapefruit mixed in with like a pithy white grapefruit. So kind of encompassing like maybe the entire grapefruit itself, but leaning more towards like a sweeter grapefruit. Right after that, I'm hit with a grainy, weedy kind of sensation, a little bit of bubblegum, and then about halfway to 2/3 of the way through the palate, the coriander hits, and then there's like a sweet kind of orange peel kind of mixing in, kind of carries on to the finish. This one finishes semi to full-on dry. Very mild bitterness, if any at all. Beers like this, they're not sweet, but they're also not bitter. It's more of that drying effect that make you go back and drink more. This is not overly dry. This is actually very balanced between the dryness and the sweetness. So this is well made. Like this is a well-made, tasty Belgian Wit. Now, let's be honest. Belgian Wit beers in general are not a style that really, I think, are huge when it comes to America. I mean, you have, and for a long time, you've had Blue Moon and Shock Top as the commercial examples, but I feel like so many people just buy those because they're readily available. I don't think a lot of people like search deeply for Belgian Wit beers. I've always liked the style. Never my favorite style, but I've always appreciated it. Them, along with German Hefeweizens, those are wheat beers to me that are really good, easy to drink, quaffable, can crush them. I've never been a huge fan of like the American counterpart, which is typically American wheat ale or American pale wheat ale. Typically, if I'm going to go for a wheat beer, it's going to be a Belgian Witbier or a German Hefeweizen. At the end of the day, though, with the addition of the grapefruit flavor, I like that they didn't overdo it. It's definitely noticeable, but it's not too much. It's just really easy to drink. There's almost a slight tartness too from the grapefruit. So really good beer, 5.2%. You could drink a ton of these, not get messed up, not feel it on the palate. So I am going to give Victory's Whirlwind. Never had this one before, but I'm glad I picked it up. I'm going to give that straight 4 out of 5. I think it's a really well-made Belgian Witbier, albeit maybe not traditional with the grapefruit flavor, but at the end of the day, it's pretty damn good. Price and availability, I got this in a mix sixer at my local Wegmans grocery store. Those are $10.99 a six-pack. I believe that's a very similar price for these in general. I think it's around $10, $11 for a six-pack all day, every day. And then availability, if you see Victory, you should see this in the spring and summer. This is more of a spring, I think, release based on the Best Buy date being, June 21st, summer, the actual start of summer. But yeah, I don't know. If you see Victory stuff, you probably should see this at some point. I mean, I've seen this over the years, just never grabbed it. Don't know why. Glad I grabbed it for a review. So if you've had this one before, post in the comment section. Let me know what you think about it. The best way and the most simplistic way to explain this one is this is a classic Belgian Witbier with a little bit of grapefruit flavor, and nothing wrong with that. Anyway, appreciate everybody stopping by. To the next one. Cheers.